Well, well, well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mayor of Mount Pleasant's 6 Feet Party podcast. I'm your host, Franco Agbro, also known as Franco Jazz, right here in Mount Pleasant, Washington, D.C. This is a 1-hour show that features live music and conversation. From the community, musicians from the community, and musicians who are traveling or who are on tour, they're welcome right here, and especially when they have something interesting to say. The group that I'm about to introduce to you is a band that, I don't know if you've been to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, but the only thing I know about Hawaii is Hawaii Five-O, Honolulu. And what's that guy's name? Jack something? Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. But today I get to learn something new. Besides Bukum Dono, I get to learn something new about Hawaii. So it gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome a touring group by the name of two individuals, Liko Martin and Laulani Teo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Liko Martin and Laulani Teo.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Washington,
Welcome.
D.C. Ohana. And I'd like to sing a song. Nice intro there with my friend down the hall. Well, on my isle of golden dreams, it's Bali High and Waikiki, and when Matilda comes to town, it's tiny bubbles and one more round. Well, I just dropped by to see if I could find myself a job, hanging around the country towns, begging from time to time. Well, I've pounded nails and a few guardrails, partied with the Portuguese jokes, but what I love best of all the rest is singing with my friends. So don't take me back to a blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. Or take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me, and beneath the blue Hawaiian moonlight, where the palm trees sway, the beach boys sing Liliku and sweet Kona moon, and you picture me down by the sea singing old-time melodies. The kind of songs that seem long gone are the ones I love to sing. So don't take me back to a blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. Take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me. Well, on my isle of golden dreams, it's Bali High and Waikiki, and when Matilda comes to town, it's tiny bubbles and you're upside down. Well, I just dropped by to see if I could find myself a job, hanging around the country towns, begging from time to time. Well, I've pounded nails, a few guardrails, hearted with the Portuguese jokes, but what I love best of all the rest is singing with my friend. So don't take me back to a blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. You and me will take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me. Oh, take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this wonderful band from Hawaii, Laulani, and Liko Martin. Liko Martin. Thank you very much for tuning in and not tuning out. This is the Six for the Party podcast. And so these guys are from Hawaii. And like I said earlier in my introduction, the only thing I know about Hawaii is Hawaii 5-0. The show.
That's it, yeah.
You know, the show. And I think one of the guys recently, passed away, the guy, the sumo wrestler guy. I think so.
And Don Ho was a really close friend in that song.
Is that right?
Yeah. We were personal buddies. I had the privilege of living with him in his penthouse for a while.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
at the height of the Aloha Aina movement back in the 70s to address some of the activities of the bombing of islands and just the things that we now, the world is facing. And so I'd like to sing a song. It's called Taking the Signs Off the Land, and it talks about ancestral lands. And
Okay.
so that's
I would love that. You do that, and then we'll talk about. I'd like to get more into what the movement is all about. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is more from Liko Martin and.
As I was walking the other day on some ancestral land, I heard a voice calling out to me, "Child, where are you going?" I've been waiting such a long, long time for you to come home. You and your family living out on the edge, broken hearts on the run. So take the signs off the land. I just wanna go home. Take the signs off the land. When you're done, I hear the stories, I hear the news. Send a letter or two about a bad situation, a crisis or two. They'll want to be your friend, until they're through with you. They'll say it won't be long until it ends, 100 years or two. So take the signs off the land, maybe a flag or two. Take the signs off the land when you're through. was walking the other day on some ancestral lands. I heard a voice calling out to me, child, where are you going? I've been waiting such a long, long time for you to come home. You and your family living out on the edge, broken hearts on the run. So take the signs off the land. I just wanna go home. Take the signs off the land when you're done.
All right. You've been listening to the music of Liko Martin from Hawaii and Laulani Teal, both from Hawaii. So you guys, why are you in town?
Peace building. Peace building.
Excuse me.
Yes. Peace
Say it loud.
Make it a little louder. Peace building.
Okay.
Peace building in particular by way of oversight and accountability.
And accountability.
Accountability.
Okay.
Yes, for Hawaii's history, much of it unknown, untold. 131 years ago, when an incident happened in the islands that is yet to be to restore the national honor, opportunity for the United States to restore its honor again, national honor, and to address and repair the injury that was done.
Would you mind expanding on that a little bit? When you talk about an incident, what was that incident?
Well, in 1893, there was an incident that involved the use of the United States military. It was unauthorized use. It was an incident that involved the sugar planters and missionaries, the people who came and were invited into Hawaii to grow sugar and be there and spread the religion. And an incident occurred where the gunboats came in on Iolani Palace, and to avoid collision of forces, possibly the loss of life, Her Majesty Queen Iliuokalani yielded to the superior forces of the United States for a treaty of protection until the time that the evidence would be brought before the United States government to restore the people of Hawaii and Hawaii's place in the family of nations around the world.
Awesome. So you're here in Washington for a particular event, or because that's
yes.
how.
Yes.
What brought us here is the need to demilitarize Hawaii and the Pacific. You know, this relates to so many things. It relates to human survival on our planet. It relates to turning around climate change. It relates to many different things that need to happen. And one thing across the entire world is that the cultures of the earth, and particularly the indigenous cultures of the earth, have a lot of solutions that are built into those cultures that are able to do that restoration and kind of lead the way out of this. And in order for that to happen, they simply need to be freed from the current repression that is happening and restored to their rightful place as the right determinants of the well-being of the land.
Wonderful, and that's especially in this era where we're more environmentally conscious. Well, very environmentally conscious, and I think people are becoming more aware as to. I mean, we all see the signs of what's happening especially environmentally and climate-wise and all kinds of things, you know. So do you go all over the world, or it's just like Washington D.C. because, you know, I mean, Hawaii, America. I mean, Hawaii is like a state, right? You know.
So actually, Hawaii is not a state legally. It's actually an occupied country.
Okay.
The statehood that is often taught in schools is actually a fiction that is based on a plebiscite that happened or a vote that happened in 1959, in which there were only two options given, either to remain a territory or become a state, both of which clearly are under the United States and don't meet international criteria. So essentially, that leaves Hawaii in its previous state, which has been an occupied country. So we have been traveling many places in the United States and in indigenous lands all over, and kind of spreading, doing what bards do. You know, so Nico has been a long time traditional bard of our culture, and has written a lot of songs about this work and about our stories, and you know, these now becoming rare traditional bards spread these stories by actual music in the communities. So we've been doing that here and there.
That's wonderful. It's such a great pleasure to have you guys here. Please play some more music. Let us feel it.
Yeah.
We want to feel it. We want to hear it. Hear your stories. Thank you.
So it was a woman's love saved us from the fire. Told her people standing down would mean their survival. Climbing down from her throne, Aloha Oi to the choir, took a train across America to lay our story down. And to the people of America, she prayed that they would find inspiration and heart's compassion for the peace of all mankind. To lift the curse that held us under wars of wanting for profit and plunder, behind the truth and clouds thereunder, and prisons full of sons and daughters. Red ribbons dangling from her hair, red ribbons, I can see them everywhere. Red ribbons, won't you take me there? Oh, red ribbons everywhere. She did stand upon that land at home on the range, where few have heard her prophetic words and message that she gave, that one day they will rise again, sons and daughters of Hawaii, and there'll be red ribbons everywhere. She wanted safety for her people, shelter from the storm, wanted to protect the land from the hordes of a greedy horde. And through the snow and icy embers, up the stairs to see if justice lives there for those red ribbons that she bore. Red ribbons dangling from her hair. Red ribbons, I can see them everywhere. Red ribbons, won't you take me there? Oh, red ribbons everywhere. And so it was a woman's love saved us from the fire, told her people standing down would mean their survival, climbing down from her throne. Aloha oi to the choir, took a train across America to lay our story down.
I really enjoy listening to your harmonies. You guys sound really wonderful. Thank you.
So nice to be here, Frank.
Thank you for
It's
being
so
here.
wonderful, you know.
Thank you for being here, and we'll do more tomorrow at
Yes.
the Children's Hour,
Yes.
and
Yes.
people get to hear this beautiful music. And that's the point of what I do, just to spread joy and just, introduce people to music they don't normally hear. And so, I was going to ask you, that's the last song, Red Ribbon?
Red ribbons, yes.
What's that song all about? Can you-
After the takeover of Hawaii, of course, the Queen stepped down, and she was actually prosecuted for treason and was imprisoned in Iolani Palace along with my great-grandmother. And so after she did that time and they let her out, she envisioned coming to the United States and to file an official protest at the State Department. And because the monarchy was very well trained in the international law, we had a treaty, we still have actually, a treaty of friendship, peace with the United States, and I think that would be a wonderful thing for the people of America to revisit. We have outstanding treaties with many countries around the world. We are original family of nations, the original neutrality nation in 1854. And so somehow miraculously she was able to leave Hawaii, and for 3 days, and in 2016 we went on that same train ride that she took for 3 days to appear and before the United States government and the Senate and the President at the State Department in Washington, D.C.
Really?
to file an official letter of protest, which is basically where we pick up now. And she identified there the very many things that were occurring, that would continue to occur, and that now is the basis for our reconciliation. That is why we say accountability. She actually laid out, prophesied what would happen in the 131 years.
Wow.
And we have never, ever lifted a hand against the United States. She asked us, and we have been faithful to that, maybe the longest standing peaceful protest people on record. So that is what so the Red Ribbons was a document that was found in the archives. In order to and we filed it with the current state, 2016 with the State Department. And
The National Archive puts a red ribbon, an actual red ribbon, to certify that it is a valid document that was filed with
the state.
Yeah, so that
So they let her.
the red ribbon is proof that it does in fact exist and they are accountable to it.
Interesting.
And
You
this
guys
is
get
not-
close to the
this
mic
is-
too.
this is
when you
not,
talk, so-
and this is not unknown. The people in Hawaii, the provisional government that was instituted in 1959, we're all aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like many things, you have layers of them. So we're in a state of transition, would be the word going forward. Transitioning to how do we make right and repair the industry without collapsing things. So my theme going forward now is peace building.
Yes.
Through oversight and accountability, and that brings out the story to the people so that we can, because that also lifts an unknown burden upon the American people.
Yeah.
And it provides the United States an opportunity to restore its national honor.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
And so that, and that would affect a lot of people, would affect the entire world.
Well, it's nice listening to your music. I'd like to hear some more. If you'd like to, share some more of your music, the whole thing with the Hawaiian experience, me listening to you just right now, it just took me to a different world that I knew nothing about. I knew nothing about it. I'm sure most Americans don't know anything about as to. Are you optimistic in this day and age now,
Very
there's hope? There's hope for progress.
Yes.
With all the work that you guys have been doing and stuff.
Following in those footsteps, the path that was laid down, and the opportunity, overly optimistic. It's a matter of walking it through in the spirit of aloha and truth, and that they will be able to lift this and present to the world a new paradigm of cooperation and the reality of our world that we need to work together.
Okay.
And so Laulani, maybe you can.
Go ahead. If you want to say something, please add something if you want to say.
I think it's like Bob Marley said that how long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look. The thing about it is that historically all around the world, people who speak the truth, prophecy is actually nothing more than speaking the truth and coming to the logical outcome in many ways, right? Sure. And so the truth is the truth. And, in Hawaii, we've had many rounds of people who have either lost their lives or just have not been successful in carrying that truth forward. And yet it is carried forward by each generation until it comes. So that's the optimism that happens. And now we're at a point in humanity where in order for humanity to survive, we need to overcome militarism, we need to overcome the pollution of our world, we need to overcome so many things. And so in a way, it's a necessity and also an optimistic view, because when it comes to the point where you have to do something, then it's more likely to happen. So in this case, we have we're particularly dealing with an exercise of the United States military called RIMPAC. That is the world's largest naval exercise, and it's pretty terrible. They bomb the ocean and the land, and they kill just uncountable numbers of whales and dolphins and all kinds of creatures. Yeah, it's really terrible. But the good thing is that there's been global resistance that's been rising, and peace building, like Liko said, that there has been this growing awareness of the need to stop that. So if it's okay, I'd like to sing a song.
Please
that
do
we've
that.
done.
Please do that. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to the music of Liko Martin and Laulani Tio right here at Franco Jazz Studios in Mount Pleasant, Washington, D.C. Please bring it. Yeah, do you think, it's all relaxed, have fun?
Yeah, so this is kind of a fun song. So this song is called A'ole Rimpak. So A'ole means no.
No Rimpak.
No Rimpak. Right.
Okay, bring it.
Hawaii back. So hit the road, Jack, so Palestine can be free. We rise up in solidarity with the Philippines. Wuhan, Regina, Bolivian, and everywhere you've been. The whole world's over your lives and your believing. It's time to get together. So everybody sing our holy impact. Please take your bombs back. Your environmental impact is too much for me. Our holy impact. We need our country back. So hit the road, Jack. So Hawaii can be free and the world. I talked to the dolphins, whales, and some turtles too. The sharks and fish, and everybody is also over you. Your bombing and pollution has no place in our pride. Ku, kiai, kamoana, and ora ikabai, our holy impact. Please take your bombs back. Your environmental impact is too much for me. Our holy impact. We need our country back. So hit the road, Jack, so I can be free. Our holy impact. Please take your bombs back. Oh, environmental impact. Oh, no. It's too much for me. Our holy impact. We need our country back. So hit the road, Jack, so Hawaii and the world will be free. So hit the road, Jack, so Hawaii and the world be free. So hit the road, Jack, so the whole world can be free.
All right, that was wonderful. Beautiful music. So, these are all, let me get it, it's all original music, right?
Oh, yes.
And that you write.
Lonnie wrote that
You guys,
song.
oh, you wrote the
She's
song.
a songwriter,
This
too.
is a beautiful song.
And,
And yeah, and you,
I'm a writer
but
like
you're the main
yourself.
songwriter, right?
well,
Yes.
it's, I grew up with him, but I'm over 70 years. I've been writing songs. 9 years old.
Okay.
He
Well,
is Hawaii's chief bard of Aloha
that's
Aina.
I was reading that right now. It's like Hawaii's chief bard
Oh, one of them.
of Aloha Aina.
I think you
So
are
what
the
is-
chief bard of Aloha Aina.
Please explain. You know, my English is not so great, but what does bard mean?
Well, Lonnie, I think that's how I live my life. Like this.
Yeah.
Last night we went to eat at a Uyghur restaurant.
A what restaurant?
What was it? People.
The Uyghur, yeah, the Uyghur.
The Uyghur restaurant, and this morning they saw us come in last night with our instruments, and when we left last night, the vision said, well, maybe you folks should come play music. So they called this morning, so we're gonna go play music over there. That's the
Is that
job of the bard, is to bring the story right down to the people, wherever occasion, in the bus stop, in the train station,
Right.
and or in front of Congress. And I've had so many wonderful experiences, and being there to express things and provide music, because music is a special. Words are one thing, but when you provide music with it, and if it's the right music and the right spirit,
It's a
it
beautiful
takes those
thing.
words
It's
to a
it's
place
magical.
where the words in themselves may not be able to go.
Yeah. You know, I just came back from Berlin, Germany. I was there. I've been there many times, but like I took the opportunity this time. I don't know if I told you, my 3 kids are musicians that live in Berlin and stuff, but like I took it upon myself this time around to just travel with my guitar.
Yeah.
And that was an experience and a half because I would go to open mics, I would just go to different places. And, I wasn't always expecting to play. See, that's a beautiful thing.
Just in case.
But I always say just in case of an emergency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that really opened up a whole lot of things to me in terms of, relating to other people, musicians, artists from all over the world, and it was so inspirational and it kind of reaffirms what I do here, where I just invite people, musicians from, people who have something to say, art to share, and that's the purpose of what we're doing. That's our life's work.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm thankful and grateful for it.
I am grateful. Absolutely grateful.
That we have this thing
Yes.
that, we can be able to express ourselves and share with the rest of the world. So I really enjoy what you guys are doing. Please give us some more, if you don't mind. All right.
And I think that it's really important to know that the role of a bard traditionally is a worldwide, just like you have in every culture, you have the great cooks and poets and writers, and you have these traditional bards who are storyteller musicians who travel and bring the music, bring the stories, bring the news to the people, from the people themselves, and so it's a very important thing that we've lost a lot in many modern cultures, but they still exist, and I think that Zico is a really good.
It's live and direct in a lot of cultures, and think about it, it reminds me of the griot.
Right,
The griot culture of Senegal and West Africa and all this. And like, the way like stories were told, it was communicated by word of mouth. Word of mouth and music.
Exactly.
And so I'm glad you guys are continuing that culture, and let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Here's more, ladies and gentlemen, from
So a
Lico
song,
Party.
since we are here in America, and I'd like to play a song for America.
Yes,
For
please.
American people, and the inspiration originally for this song was in 1976. When I came to Washington D.C., was invited by the Smithsonian Institute to perform on the lawn there, for the Lincoln Memorial.
In the mall.
So I'd like to share this song called "Hail Unto Thee, My American Dream."
All right. Bring it.
It's kind of just before you start, I'm going to say that it's kind of ironic in a way, in a beautiful way, that this independence activist for many, many years, well-respected Hawaiian independence activist, writes the most beautiful songs about America.
It's amazing.
And
and
this song is the best example.
Something to be applauded.
So hail unto thee, my American dream, cast in its form and flying machines, better living naturally. Money cannot blind me, where freedom is a word and liberty's dying to be seen. So wherever I go, wherever I find a little life a burning, stay and please a heart that's grieving, stay a while and homeward turning. Time is passing me by, and in this life my soul is yearning for a change of heart and the time to understand. And slave is a word that has conquered this world too many times over and over. over graves and ashes were the answers. Stop the wars and seek the answers. Where freedom is the word and liberty's dying to be seen. So wherever I go, wherever I find a little life a burning, stay and please a heart that's grieving. Stay a while and homeward turning, time is passing by. And in this life my soul is yearning for a change of heart and a time to understand. So hail unto thee, my American dream, cast in its form and flying machines. Better living naturally, for money cannot blind me. Where freedom is the word and liberty's dying to be saved. Where freedom is the word and liberty's dying to be saved. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that song with us. That was a beautiful song. I got a question for you guys. At what point did you think, as a society, we lost it?
Well, it's like
I know it's a tough question, but
it's like melting snow. And you know, to answer that question, at what point do we realize that we need to get it back?
exactly. That's a good. Yeah.
It's just like that. When we join hands, we join hearts out of necessity. And
Yeah.
this is where our entire world is at. And I know for Laulani, myself, and many others who are bringing forth their visions, their dreams, their aspirations, their heartache, that this is a time to bring it all out. And
Yeah.
in that way, it will become something else.
You know, the thing is, it's like, you know, like I said, having children, for me, like, I lived kind of through what they were experiencing, not just like, like technologically, and, you know, because I had to keep in, as a parent, you know, my wife and I had to keep in touch with what they were doing, so we were in tune,
Yeah.
you know, and so like, they would come to me like with like, you know, they would hear some music and stuff. When the internet came out, right, they would hear some music, and I would hear a bass line or I would hear some kind of melody. I said, this is not original. They thought it was original, but I knew it wasn't original, and I would show them the original version, and they would be like, oh wow, you know, because things were looped. They were looping things back then. They took bass lines, they took lines, they took melodies and stuff like that. And so to me, as a musician, I could recognize that, but with other people who are not musicians, there was this gap. You know, and before, the way we used to share music is like, hey, you know, you be playing music, the kids are running around, they hear it, they're listening to your music, you know, and they get inspired by it. But when the internet came out, there was a separation factor. And there was isolationism. You know, people started getting isolated in their rooms, in the computer, thinking they could get everything from there.
To recover from the digitalization, the separation.
Yes.
The need for privacy, all these things actually has sort of separated the threads.
Yes. Yeah. It's
And
separated everything.
So now the threads are still there. Now it's just like making noodles.
Yes.
You know, you stretch it out and you put them back. They're at the restaurant last night. They hand make their noodles,
Yeah.
and that's what in the process of where we're at now.
Yeah.
You know, we've experienced so much despair and confusion, and yet here we are, and we can do it.
I think we can. There's hope. But the thing is, when you look through history, right? I mean, there's always been fits and starts. You know, we get to a point, and then everybody something happens naturally where everybody comes to some kind of consciousness.
One of our
but we don't want to get into on the edge too much.
right.
Yeah, we just have to know how to to monitor and to be able to understand, okay, how does this affect me? How does this affect my people? How does it affect future generations? So it's a lot of things to.
I'm thinking of an elder, and I'm going to ask Laulani to speak about Antipilahi Paki and the things that she prophesied.
Please.
Before she went into that other dimension. And if you can tell the story of Antipilahi.
Antipilahi Paki was she was a relative of Liko's, and she was from a chiefly line, and she was a teacher of several of my teachers in addition to Liko. And she had a very famous prophecy that when the world, in its quest for peace, when the world decides that it needs peace, that it will turn to Hawaii, because Hawaii has the key, and that key is aloha.
Wow, interesting.
So that was her famous prophecy, and we're coming to a time when we're really seeing that is true.
Yeah.
Because it is aloha that has the capacity to heal the things that the countries of the world have not been able to solve. To heal war, to heal the wrongdoing in the world, the abuse of people, the oppression, the pollution, all of those things. If there's respect, which is part of aloha, and there is mutuality, there's love, there's giving, there are all these things that people use the word love for aloha, but aloha is a very, very deep concept in
what does
culture.
it actually really mean in your feeling, your language, in your culture? What does aloha mean? Because people use it loosely, and I don't quite understand it. And
they've commodified it. They've commodified it. Quite honestly, those who want to exploit have commodified it on purpose to minimize its value. But in truth, it has a very powerful value, which is one of healing, which is one of love. It's one of humility. It's Antipilahi had a whole that aho nui, that it stood for many different things, and those things, lokahi, which is unity, olu olu, the sweetness. That there are many different things. You also have ha is a type is humility, and aho nui is patience. There's and basically you have this thing that is inside naturally. The concept is that aloha naturally flows in and between every person. So every person has aloha inside of them, and every person connects to every other person.
Who has aloha in them?
Well, that everyone does have aloha, but that aloha can be, it can be repressed. It can be, it can be contaminated. There are a lot of things that could happen to it. But the natural flow of aloha is something that does already exist by default between people, and it's built through family relations, by relating to each other, all these different things. And so what we need to do is to restore that flow of aloha. And aloha is also our currency. We had no money. We didn't have a barter system. We have a system of aloha, where you give what you give out of aloha and you receive from aloha. Yeah.
Coming from Nigeria, the African culture, the act of giving is not something well, you know, when you come to America, when you give, you put it in your taxes so you can get some money back. Something, you know, giving is usually it's a spiritual thing. It's a, you know, it's from your heart, it's from your soul, and there's a certain kind of liberation when it comes
Right, there you go, liberation, that's the word.
to sharing.
Yes.
It lifts a lot of burdens. People don't know that on a regular level, but I think that if that was to be consulted more, that people will understand how enriching it is to your overall health. You know,
Yourself, yes.
yeah, your whole purpose of being here on this earth. You know what? We've been talking a lot. It's time for some more music. I hope you don't mind sharing some more music for us. You know, we're going to get to more music now. You know, because I've really enjoyed the conversation. Really, really enjoyed it because I learned things I never knew before about Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, here is more from Liko Martin.
Well, we'll pick up with Entry Pilahi and my very, very close friend Don Ho. And I had originally, before the maiden voyage of the Hokulea down to Polynesia, which really signaled the real push towards the renaissance of culture. Yes, they did sail the canoes, that yes, you can, and that the people of Polynesia that knew that the world was round. And that I was about ready to, so I sailed from Big Island to Honolulu, and then actually became very close with Don Ho and lived with him. And at a time when I was wearing a loincloth, very long beard, long hair, and I wanted to return to the city of refuge on the Big Island. And when Don heard that, he said, "Well, Liko, leave us something. Write us a song, leave us something." 4 hours later, I walked down to his dressing room at the Polynesian Palace in Waikiki and handed him the words of a song which has become a theme song for the Hawaiian Renaissance, for the people of Hawaii to gather together, to unite. And it was like, it didn't take more than 15, 20 minutes.
To write it.
Because all I had to do was recall the journey of my life.
Wow.
And so this song, it's written in English. And then I was sitting in an office of a very dear friend of mine, Kawai Prajin, with whom I came to Washington, D.C. around the 1980s, while he was participating and sharing our message and getting support in Geneva from the international community. We're very thrilled about this story, and he was the main guy in Washington, D.C. And she translated the song into the language that I was forbidden from hearing when I was a child. Because language, you were beaten in the schools. My elders, they were beaten in the schools if they spoke English, Hawaiian, and if you came home and you were speaking English, you
got punishment again.
You got punishment again. So I'd have to sneak around the corner. But the one thing that was always there was the Hawaiian music. Because I grew up in a political family, and so it's like whoever had the best musicians, people knew to vote for them. So it came to the point of finally when I learned to play slack key, and my elders were saying, "Okay, Liko, come on and sing." So with All Hawaii Stand Together, which is the name of this song, Hawaii Loa, long live Hawaii. Hawaii Loa was actually a navigator who came and through the Hawaiian Islands, where the people had come, surveyed and settled into what is known as the Polynesian Triangle, from the Hawaiian Islands to New Zealand, Aotearoa to Rapa Nui. And earlier this year, there was a tremendous event of the gathering of the Polynesian canoes, everything. So we're really at that cusp of culture sharing, and the cusp of everywhere culture sharing as a means, a guide to realign the hearts and the resources and to
And also to know that we all have something, we all have a lot in common.
yes. So I'd like to share and sing that song. So the song will take you on a journey that when I left Honolulu and then went back into Kahiko, the ancient world.
Please do. Thank you for sharing that.
As I travel from place to place, some familiar and some are strange, to hear the ancient chantings of our home. As I listen to the stories, my eyes have seen the glories. So let us raise our voice in song to save our land. And all Hawaii stand together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. And we shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generations, to sing and praise the glory of our land. Within stone walls and cities of refuge, learn the sacred ways. Upon Waipio's valley floor, the ancient paddles rage, and from the barren slopes of Kaho'olawe and shores of Kahanave, we shall claim our lands from the barking sands to the valleys of Hanalei. So Hawaii loa, kuli ke kako, kupa me kalo kahi kupa me ka i vole. Oni pa akako, oni pa akako, alana kila na kini e ola, e ola, e ola na kini. On the fiery pits of Tutu Pele, I hear my mother's call, and old Tutu Kane and Mauna Kea send their love to all, and to stand as one beneath the sun. Blessings from Haleakala and our sweet Kala, and Waiale Ale where the greatest waters fall. So all Hawaii stand together. It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high. And we shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generations, to sing and praise the glory of our land. Iloko na hale ako haku aoia na hanahi iwai pipi o wawa uli uli o waipi o na pupano a o ka ho'ola ke awa o ka hana ke ani kani o no hili hano hano o hana le o Hawaii loa kuli ke kako kupa me ka loa ka hie kukala me ka iho ole oni pa stand fast and oni pa kako oni pa kako alana kila na kini e ola na maloko ka lua ho pele ko he mako I o leo aloha na kupuna me tutuma e ka makua mauloa e ko leo alea kala pane mai ko leo aloha aina Hawaii loa kuli ke kako so Hawaii loa kuli ke kako kupa me ka loka hie kukala me ka iho ole oni pa'a Oni pa'a kako ala na kila na kini e ola na kini So all Hawaii stand together It is now and forever to raise your voices and hold your banners high and we shall stand as a nation to guide the destiny of our generations to sing and praise the glories of our land.
All right, you've been listening to the music of Lico Martin right here at Franco Jazz Studios in Mount Pleasant. You guys will be playing tomorrow morning for the Children's Hour.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it. I think the community would love your music. I'm excited about it because, you know, we every now and then we get to introduce musicians that, you know, or music that we don't know about, you know, or we don't, you know, that have a story behind them, that have some history behind them. And I think that's the magic of what we do as musicians. And I really appreciate you guys coming here and short notice.
Same.
You know,
Opening the door for us.
opening the door and just going right to the community. And so, so I'm really very excited about that. And how often do you come to Washington?
Whenever is necessary.
Whenever
I've been
is
3
necessary.
years preparing for this journey. About a year ago, I found out that I had an older brother about a year ago, and he didn't know he had a younger brother.
Oh, you just found out?
My father was a soldier in the United States
my
Army.
goodness.
1945, came to Hawaii as a musician. I guess it kept him off the battlefield. Met my mother, whose family, as I said, supported the efforts to hold until the time was right. And I found out that my father's family is from Michigan. And that's why I always loved corn.
So in other words, we do travel
On the continent quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't been back to Washington D.C. in 8 years. I think it's been 8 years.
8 years,
Yes,
wow.
the last time we came. But I've been here once since then. But yeah, we came here 8 years ago and redelivered the Queen's letter at the Department of State and
The red ribbon?
the red ribbon letter, yeah, we handed it over and refiled it. And I think
It's like a pawn reaching the other side of the.
yeah, every so
Yes.
often, when we show up here, it's usually because something needs to be done.
So there's a main event you're performing this week, right? Or is it one particular main thing you?
Well, they're all important.
They're all
Tonight
okay.
being where we're going to play and fill up the room with Hawaiian music and some of our folk stories. Then we'll play at another place. That's our music is our venue
Okay.
to get to the heart of it and then be available, accessible to the members of Congress, because we have some basically formal requests.
Right.
It appears to be the right time.
Yeah.
The right timing, and in following in the specific words of the Queen in 1893. And as I'm a writer of these things, it's ironic when you're looking at the process. And the process is so important.
Yeah.
And in my last 3 years, while Lonnie has been going to Geneva, engaging, I have been making sure that we've got the right address, we're in the right jurisdiction, and really putting myself to the test with the story, so that something can happen. It's not a challenge. It's like so that we can move forward. We can move something forward, so that the words, exact Queen's words, was until upon the time when the story of us would be presented to the American government, and to this restoration process can occur.
And then she had a faith in the honest American.
She had, and this was one of the things where
She had a faith in
she
the honest
wrote
American.
She wrote an autobiography. And in this autobiography, she calls out, "Oh, honest American, have compassion for my downtrodden people. That for you, the country so vast of places yet unexplored, that to covet the Garden of Naboth from so far from your shores, which was set aside to be a place for peace. It was a neutral ground in time of war. And she pled to them to not be deceived, lest the curse of Ahab fall upon you, if not in your time, in the time of your children." And that she said that the same God that the missionaries brought for us will hear also us in our time of need, and our people lamenting for our homes, as all people are lamenting for their homes. So our cause is a universal cause.
Yeah.
And and this is what her prophetic words.
Over history, I've always been conflicted with the idea of you have a cause dealing with your people, right? That cause is not really being achieved as to your liking or our liking, or to what we want as a people. But then, when you take on other causes, does your cause lose its intensity? Or do you feel like, well, it's the same cause and we can all grow it together?
That's it. You said it, Frank. It's the same cause. We'll all grow it together.
All right. Well, on that note, I'd like you to play one last song, if you don't mind. I really appreciate you guys sharing your music with us. It's an hour show, so we'll try to keep it to that. Short, nice, and sweet, and with a lot of, if you want to share a couple more songs, go ahead. But I'd just like you guys to play some music.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
One of the themes in my life, I played the American Dream. And at that time in 1976, the Forest Service had a character named Johnny Horizon. And Johnny Horizon and Burl Ives toured the country with water testing kits and all these things. And of course, the theme of the bicentennial was, let's clean up America for our 200th birthday. And that has always lived in my heart. I wrote a screenplay about it. And recently, something told me to put it in a stage play, somebody that can hit the stage and make it a rocker. So I have that.
Nice.
And look forward to contacting the Smithsonian, getting some old tapes back when my hair was long and singing these songs. But I'd like to revisit one of the songs. It's actually a stage play that I look forward to, and in this particular song is called America 1976.
Okay.
And on the backdrop, on the float, on the stage, there's Abraham Lincoln sitting there, and there's a tap dancer sitting on his knee, his foot, and it's a female. Okay, and it's dressed up like Uncle Sam's. That's the thing. And over in the far left is Sasquatch. And on the stage, as the song plays, you can imagine this, that there's a big long limo, and it's coming in, and as the song, and it's kind of like in a Dixieland, it's got bam, 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 and ends up, and you'll see the limo kind of breaking down, and people don't know what to do, and they gotta fix the car and everything, and actually. So the tap dancer ends up, and Sasquatch comes out onto the stage, and it's so fitting because this is an election year. And the second verse of it talks about that. So if I'd like, I'd go into that song.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to conclude this particular podcast with Loki Martin and Laulani Teal right here at Franco Jazz Studios in Mount Pleasant. They'll be performing tomorrow at the Children's Hour on 17th and Kilbourne Place in Mount Pleasant. I look forward to hearing and sharing their music with the community. Ladies and gentlemen, here's more. They're going to be playing their last song. I'd like to thank you on this note. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your music. Thank you for the work that you do in spreading love,
Thank you, Frank, for
peace,
being here.
and humanity.
Yeah, thanks for all
Thank
the Uber drivers. When I came to Washington, D.C., if you wanted to really find out what was happening, you caught a cab.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay, America 1976.
Here we go. All right, bring it.
America 1976 left a question on my mind. It took us 200 years on a camel to get here. Somebody took us for a ride. Well, the world keeps spinning. You think you're winning? Tell me, mister, how much can your money buy? And am I too late? Hope not. Have they closed the gate on U.S. radio? Planet of the Apes. Electing another president. Oh yeah. Well, we all should have run. We'd had so much fun and got back everything that we spent. Well, we're all part of the Congress. We get off on progress, and you can't make ends meet living alone. No. But if you keep me in check in that drawer under your desk, goodbye, America. I'm gonna hit the road. So America 1976 left a question on my mind. It took us 200 years on a camel to get here. Somebody took us for a ride. Well, the world keeps spinning and think we're winning. Tell me, mister, how much can your dollar buy? And am I too late? I think close the gate on U.S. radio, Planet of the Oh, well, I hope I'm not too late. Oh, not too late on Radio America. Oh, yeah, here we are. It took us 200 years on a camel to get here. Somebody took us for a ride. Well, we're all part of the Congress. Get off on progress. And we really can't make ends living alone. No, 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 please don't keep me in check in that drawer under your desk. Goodbye, hello, America. Let's get out on the road. If you keep me in check in that drawer under your desk. Hello, America. Let's get out back on the road. So thank you and aloha, nice and Laulani, really wonderful to be here. And just so special, Frank.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
I wish I had my tambourine.
Tomorrow.
We'll have it tomorrow. We'll be on it
We'll have a band.
Tune in tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank this band from Hawaii, ladies and gentlemen, Liko Martin and Laulani Teo. Thank you very much for tuning in and not tuning out. We heard what a wonderful session this has been. Thank you for coming to the Franco Jazz Studios. We look forward to hearing you tomorrow. Folks, if you'd like to tune in, this will be on YouTube and all the other channels to hear their stories from Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very Thank you very much for tuning in, okay?
Thank you,
Thank
Frank.
you guys very much.
I just-
What are your YouTube or you guys have any social media?
I think
You want to share that?
Org.
I just kind of realized, we never thought about having a band name. But since you brought it up while you were just saying what you were saying, I said, well, maybe we're the Aloha Aina Troubadours.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, I've had many situations when I've interviewed bands and they're like,
We
okay,
don't even
well,
have a name.
and it happens spontaneously.
Yes.
Spontaneous combustion. Maybe that's something you should work with. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you once again for being here. Peace.
Peace. That's the prize.